One of the reasons that reps hate cold calling is that they don't know what to say, right? They don't have a structure or a framework that allows them to get into a conversation with a prospect in order to uncover an opportunity and then book a meeting. So at Sales Science, we use a 4-part framework to cold calls that allows us to dig in, understand, have a conversation, and then close for next steps, which is a meeting. So I'm going to take you through that 4-step process in today's video. So step number 1 is a permission-based opener, right? So we get someone on the phone, we want to ask for their permission in order to speak to them. And there's a number of different ways that you can do this. One of the ones that we use frequently is, "Hi John, look, let me level with you. This is a cold call. Do you want to hang up, or can I get 30 seconds to explain why I've called you?" Right? Another variation is, "Hey John, look, I know I'm an interruption, but can I get 27 seconds to explain why I've called?" Right? And then the old tried but true opener could be something like, "Hey John, it's Matt here from Sales Science. I haven't caught you at a bad time, have I?" Right? So in each of those openers, what we're doing is we're asking for permission from the prospect in order to have a conversation with them. Right? Once we get that permission, we're on to stage number 2. So stage number 2 for us is clearly articulating a couple of problems that the prospect might be having that we can help them to solve. Right? The reason that we want to do this here is that the prospect wants to know how we can help them, right? But they don't want to know about us, right? They want to be able to talk about themselves, right? They want to know that what we're talking about is relevant to them. They don't really care who we are. They want to know what we can do for them, right? That's how you generate interest. And so we want to outline a couple of problems as specifically as possible to see whether or not the prospect that we're speaking to has these problems. Okay, so that might look like something like, so we've rolled through the intro, we're now into stage 2. Thanks, John. So look, typically we work with sales leaders that are struggling with one of 2 problems. Either net new pipeline creation is lumpy because reps aren't dedicating enough time to prospecting, they're focusing on closing deals, or the companies we work with don't have a system in place to systematically identify new potential prospects and reach out to them in order to start sales conversations. Are either one of these things a problem for you at the moment? Right, so what we've done there, we've clearly outlined 2 things that we help companies to solve, and we're asking whether or not there's a problem, whether or not one of those problems relates to this person's business at the moment. Okay, so that's phase 2. Phase 3 is if we get some acknowledgement of a problem that exists, we want to dig into the pain that problem is creating. And so the way that we do that is to ask, expansion questions. So things like, what have you done in the past to try to address this? Do you have plans on how you're going to address this in the future? Does this create flow-on issues in the organization? Is this a blocker to you guys reaching goals for 2022? Right? We want to dig in and understand the pain that this problem is creating and get into a conversation around the impact it's having on the business. Once we've done that, right, so we want to transition to the close, right? And a great closing question that we use is, so look, it sounds like what we do might be able to help you. Any reason you'd be opposed to spending 20 minutes on a quick Zoom learning how? Notice the way that we've phrased that question is we're looking for a no response from the prospect, not a yes. So we've asked any reason you'd be opposed to, right? Not would you like to. Now, there's a simple piece of psychology behind this is that prospects would rather say no to a salesperson than they would say yes. No feels easy. Yes is a commitment, right? We want to make it easy for the prospect to say what we want them to say. So use no-oriented questions at the end. Okay, so that's a really, really simple framework for cold calling. Phase 1, permission-based opener. Stage 2, outline problems that you solve specifically as possible in a short, succinct way. Phase 3, dig for the pain that those problems are creating using expansion questions. And phase 4 is the close, right? And you want to ask for that close in a way that is a no-oriented question to make it easy for the prospect. If you're interested, send me through your cold calling script based on this framework, and I'll give you some feedback on where I think it could be improved.